Radiant team banned.
Welcome. No. That's not enough. Welcome to the Thunderfunking Dotacast. I'm Cranberry Thunderfunk, and this is Zephyr versus First Departure in the TI4 Southeast Asian Qualifiers. I know something about Zephyr that I just read. So there are actually 4 Americans and one guy from the Netherlands living in South Korea. They're managed by a South Korean organization. I think brought over there, so eSports is more of a thing in South Korea than it is in America, definitively. So they're willing to pay to bring quality American players over. How quality you deem these players is pretty variable. Now Blitz is really good. I think Blitz is he's pro level. Purge is good. I don't know if he's that good. He has a lot of experience. He's been playing Dota forever. He's kind of been a part of the scene since the beginning, and that level of knowledge just kind of makes you inherently good at the game. They've also got Sexy Bambo. They've got eosin, previously of eosin +4. It's a tier 2, tier 3, realistically tier 3 team that they placed in a few tournaments. They qualified for Star Ladder once or twice. So, lots of experience. And I think they're probably the only Americans in this tournament. But I'll make things a little bit easier and more interesting for myself by starting off by casting them. First Departure, I don't recognize any of these guys. I'll do a little quick research. First Departure. Okay, yeah, the squad that I know... Yeah, this is completely different than the First Departure that I last cast, which was last year. So, completely unfamiliar with them, but I do have the fortune of knowing that they are from Singapore, and... Oh man, I'm fucked in terms of... Okay, Dafa, Chains, Mean...
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, so the one with the characters is Mean. KS, Dafa, Chains, and Lubby. Yes, Lubby is the captain. So that's enough to carry me into talking about the draft, which I have to do some catching up with. Already, much more interesting picks than we've seen in the America qualifiers. Holy shit, thank God. Most interesting to note is the lack of Mirana. Whoop whoop. I love Mirana, but every game is a little bit fucking stupid. Wraith King and Ancient Apparition are the first picks for Zephyr, and this is actually a very strong tri-lane in combo with Morphling. The Wraithfire Blast plus the Cold Feet, that's instant Cold Feet proc. You waveform in, on top of the, the Doohickey, the Ice Vortex, that's tons of damage, magic damage amplification, that's kills. So, First Departure really don't want to be running against that lane. We'll see if Zephyr tries to run a 2-1-2 or if they go for a defensive try. We'll have to see. They also pick up the Death Prophet for some solid push mid. And so if they run the defensive try, then they'll want to pick up a offlaner. If they go for the 2-1-2, and it does look like a 2-1-2, or maybe even an aggro try, which they could definitely do. It's very rare that you see Morphling in an aggro try because of how dependent on experience he is. He really needs multiple levels early on as much as possible. But going for this very greedy tri-core, it could work out. Assuming that this is going to be a safe lane Doom solo. I would be shocked if it were... If it were Doom as a part of the tri-lane. I don't think I've ever seen that. And theoretically, it could be a Jungle Doom. It does have a shield. I don't even want to suggest an offlane Doom, but maybe if they really wanted to gross me out, they could do that. Looking at the lineup on First Departure, so they have... This is very versatile. Very versatile. Lots of AoE stun. They've got the Song. They've got Overgrowth. They got Earth Spike, and they're gonna have stuns from Brewmaster. And it appears that they're... We'll see where they run the tree. Interesting. Boots first on this tree. Oh man, I think we're going to see all sorts of interesting shit going on in this game. A smoke up by Zephyr. They're warding up the jungle. They will stop at least this camp. They don't plant any other wards though. An interesting... If you're going to smoke up as 5, usually you do a little more warding than that. And that's not really the most effective ward to place. It only stops 1 camp. I think they were perhaps hoping to catch somebody, but no such luck in this game.
The battle begins.
So it looks like a 2-1-2 with Boots first on the Treant. So fascinating. Absolutely delightful. Okay, sorry about that. I had to check on the stream. Stream checking. Oh yeah, checking out that stream. Running through the lineups. My first time casting Zephyr, as well as first departure. So this will be fun. Blitz is on Death Prophet mid. He's going to be up against Chains on Naga Siren. Tomorrow Fucking Land, who I believe is Lubby, is rocking that Boots first Treant Protector. In the off lane, we've got Dafa on the Timbersaw. eosin is going to be on the support Wraith King, and Corey is going to be on that Morphling for Zephyr. Purge will be rocking out on Ancient Apparition. No, Lubby. Lubby is in fact on the Lion. So, Tomorrow Fucking Land. That's what we're going to be calling you, unfortunately for you. And... Oh, Mean. Okay, so that's Mean that's the Treant Protector. If that's Lubby. Got it. Okay. So yes, Lubby on the Lion. Lubby Lion, and KS on this farming Brewmaster. An interesting place to put Brewmaster, honestly. I feel like, in terms of mids, Brew is a little bit better than Naga. I mean, they both have AoEs, except that Brew comes equipped with natural evasion, and he's a strength hero, so he's a little bit tankier. So that I find a little bit curious, especially given that Brew is so interested in levels. I think this is... I would be willing to label this as a mistake in terms of laning. There's no reason not to send the Brew mid. He's going to get more experience, he's going to get his level 6 faster, and that means you're going to get way more out of the Brew. And you're going to get the same amount of farm either way. Riptide is just as good. Thunderclap is just as good as Riptide for farming. I mean, the only thing it doesn't do is decrease armor, which can help with, the right clicks for when you're finishing things off, but you've got crit anyways. As well as a great attack animation. I think it's a little better than Naga's. Even worse, I think, is that that little difference is going to help Death Prophet win this lane. Blitz should come out on top here. The only thing that Chains can do is repeatedly send these illusions down to these camps to farm, but that's not very efficient. Mirror images... no, still nothing going on over here. They throw the stun out. There's the cold feet. Is it going to proc? It is going to proc, and he's going to get picked off. There's the first blood picked up by Corey. Perfect for Zephyr. That's exactly what they wanted. Hand over that 400 gold to the Morphling. Get him his items as quickly as possible. We'll see if he opts to go for a Midas in this game on the back of that. Timbersaw, I think, should have a fine time in this lane, but if the cold feet procs, then all bets are off. Really needed to use the Timber Chain a lot sooner. And he had 2 levels in it, unless he just skilled that second level. It looked like it appeared there post hoc. We shall see. So overall, I think all the lanes are pretty good for Zephyr. They've got Bambo in the jungle. He's farming up. Doom is starting from the jungle at level 1. He's a little bit slower than some. It depends a lot on which creep he manages to find first. If he gets the
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Fuck, what's it called? The Satyr douchebag. gives health regen, then he can just continually right-click. 4 HP regen at level 1 is massive. He's not had such luck, it appears. Forced to stick with less valuable things, and that can slow things down a little bit. But once he gets multiple levels in Devour up, everything goes pretty smoothly, and he's got Scorched Earth as well. Doom is very strong versus Timbersaw. If you're really worried about taking down Timber, then all you gotta do is Doom him. And the thing is, it's really good versus a lot of these heroes on First Departure. You Doom a Brew, I mean, so much of the reason that you pick the hero is completely taken out. Same thing for Naga. You can't panic ult if you're doomed, and that gives Zephyr a lot of options for how they want to, what they want to focus on in terms of making these fights go more smoothly. Plus, they've got the great silence from Death Prophet. I think that's the big reason that Death Prophet has been picked more recently, is just a massive AoE on silence at max level. Plus, it's 6 seconds, and these are all heroes that suffer quite a bit. 5.5 minute Midas, by the way, on Corey. All heroes that suffer under the reign of terror that the silence brings. And they're also not natural BKB carriers. That's another concern that I have for First Departure. You don't want to waste money on Brew buying a BKB. It's just not that effective. It doesn't synergize with who he is at all. Same thing for Naga. You'd rather be picking up damage, you'd rather be picking up stats. Is this... Why is this bracer disabled? I'm going to assume that's a spectation glitch. I'm going to assume. That could be incorrect.
Regeneration.
Same thing for Timbersaw. You don't want to have to pick up a BKB on Timbersaw. He's so mana dependent. You want to get a Bloodstone. You want to get Yules. Something. That's not a BKB. It's just so useless. So, I think this draft overall from Zephyr is much stronger. And I think Zephyr can play this however they want. They can take this super late, get all kinds of items on the Morphling, plus the Doom, plus the Death Prophet, plus the Wraith King. And there's no way that First Departure can stand up to that. Or they can get aggressive earlier on. And it does appear that that's probably where they're going to be heading. We actually see a Blink Dagger picked up on Sexy Bambo. This is a very Bambo pickup. I've cast a lot of games with Bambo, and he does things like this. Like Blink on Doom. I mean, these days, it's not... you can pick Doom up on almost any hero, and it's hard to criticize because Blink is just such an amazing item now. Just there's no lineup it doesn't fit into. But it would indicate that he's going to be going for maybe the Stomp, help with the initiation on his team. I think that's one thing that until they've got the Blink Dagger up on eosin, ooh, this could be a kill on Dafa. Do they have the... Oh, look at that Ice Vortex damage. And he misses his Timber Chain. That is a bad sign. If I mean, there's no reason to have missed that Timber Chain. He may have died either way, but it's just the facts of life. You know, much shame is you. So actually, that's the other thing about Blink. This looks like a dead... Yeah, that's a dead Naga Siren. 2 waves, although he does manage to finish his drums. He's actually probably going to live. He is going to get chased out of the lane. I thought they would have had a little more ability to chase, but there's no boots on Bambo. And it looks like those phase just got delivered to Blitz. So, not just the case there. Top tier 1 does get taken out by Zephyr. They start to eat away a little bit, which that's fine for Dafa. It'll make this lane a little bit safer for him. Corey did go for that Midas. He got it at 5.5 minutes, which is pretty great timing. It's going to make his life a lot easier. If you can pick a Midas up that early, then fair enough, it's worth it. I don't think Morphling necessarily needs the help that much, but until you do get the Void Stone or the Perseverance, his mana regen sucks, and you don't want to be wasting waveform just to farm. So it does help quite a bit in the earlier stages. Interesting choice here by eosin to farm with the Wraithfire Blast. Blink Dagger is picked up on KS, so they do have that option available. Level 6, not yet here for eosin. They could dive this if they really wanted. At the very least, they could force TPs from the rest of Zephyr. Doom is going to be off cooldown in about 7 seconds, and with that Blink Dagger on Bambo, I think that they're really going to be interested in fighting. Haven't seen Blitz pop the Exorcism. One thing I prefer to see from Death Prophets is more active use of Exorcism. There's not a lot of reason not to if you don't plan on fighting within the next 90 seconds. Oh, there we go. They are going to jump on eosin. They do it after he's already hit level 6. The cooldown gets wasted, but there's the 75% slow going to work. They're going to go right onto Lubby. No more Earth Spikes in this fight. And 4 down here for... This is an easy kill. KS, he can try to TP if he wants, but he's just going to drop. Although there's the evasion actually making it a lot harder to finish him off. Makes him work for it, but it's 2 kills going the way of Zephyr. It's 0 for 4 now. That was a brutal response by Zephyr. They didn't even need Doom for that. Bad timing by First Departure. Going in after the level 6, I mean, sure, you're wasting a 6-minute cooldown, which is fine and dandy and all. It's 6 minutes, right? No, 260, so it's about 4 minutes. So, sure, you're wasting a 4-minute cooldown, but I don't think Zephyr gives a fuck. I don't think they have any reason to care about that at all. And the 75% slow totally bought them the kills there, so... Or at least, at the very least, on the Brew. Brew's Pandas could not escape. Zephyr takes the second tower of the game, bottom tier 1. Things look real nice for them. Perseverance finished on Corey. He's probably going to have about a 16-minute Lincoln's. And that's with a Midas, so that's real fine. eosin, he's got about 600 gold. We'll see if he opts to pick up the Blink. 1,800 gold on chains. Farming pretty well. He's been constantly sending these illusions down into the jungle, which helps his last hits out a lot, but he's still behind. And like, given that he has been getting some farm from the jungle, I would expect a little bit better.
Is under attack.
But I think that's because he wasn't quite living up in this lane, which I don't think Naga is going to against Death Prophet. Dare I look at the gold graph? Oh, Jesus. It's about 7,500 and about 5,000 in favor of Zephyr. This looks really bad for First Departure. 1,800 gold before the relic is up. About 2,000. 2,500.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No. A large chunk of money before the Radiance is online. Yeah, a little over 2,000. There's the Exorcism, waiting until level 2 to get that going. Oh, there's... it's just cruel. Lovey gets the ever-living shit kicked out of him. And now First Departure are going to be constantly on the defensive. Exorcism still got plenty of... Well, a little bit of time left on it. Immediately contradicting me, why don't you blitz? But nonetheless, they're getting damage on the mid-tier 2. Like, all the tier 1s are off the map for Zephyr. You can go do Roche right now if they wanted. They could farm up on First Departure's jungle. They can keep all the lanes pushed in. They can do whatever they want. And First Departure's ability to punish it just seems very minimal. Another thing that, like, one of the things that disappoints me about this style of play with Naga is that it just discourages the use of the song. I liked support Naga in that you would see relatively early on sacrificial or really like utility uses of the song, whereas if you're playing carry Naga, you can't afford to use it unless it's really important. This is what I would call a complexity smoke here from First Departure. They're grouped up and moving very slowly towards Zephyr. Zephyr have done their own smoke, only dedicating 3 to this one. They can try to go on Corey, although he's just used the waveform. This is terrible timing for him, actually. So they do manage to get a kill. It's about to... Although they blow the Brewmaster ult for it, that's maybe not the greatest thing. Exorcism off cooldown in about 2 seconds. There's the stun onto Dafa. The silence looks like he is going to be completely out of this fight. Lubby, his TP is cancelled by the Yules, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 at the end of it all. The Doom keeps KS out of the fight, but that's really a wasted Doom. He had already used his ultimate, so that was not really going to be much of an issue. Chains getting some pushing done at bottom. He'll actually have a looks to be about a 15-16 minute relic. Given that he stopped on the way for the drums, that's not bad at all.
Dire's middle tower
Blitz did finish that Yules, the de facto build on Death Prophet, I have to say. Looks to be mech on Bambo. Man, having a blink mech is actually very strong. Many heroes suffer, if they go mech first, they suffer from placement issues. They can't get to their friends in time to apply the heal. But with a blink mech, especially on somebody like Doom, who is nice and tanky, I think it's very... This is a great way to play Doom for this lineup. I really like this draft overall. It's very creative. It's hard to predict. First Departures all grouped up. You can smell the fear on them. They don't want to get picked off. Resurrection back online for eosin, as is Exorcism. Purge has his Ice Blast. First Departures, despite being 4 at top, they choose to back off. Nothing acquired just yet. They do purchase a smoke here. One thing that I would have liked to see Zephyr do a little more of is just aggressive warding. They do have this ward in mid, but nothing in the jungle. Nothing near the secret shop. So First Departure will go for another smoke. Hoping they can find somebody. They don't have any vision in the jungle. If they find eosin, honestly, I think that would be really good for Zephyr. Oh, he's gonna jump in and throw down the Brewmaster ult. Bambo, he's stunned up. Is he gonna be able to get the Doom off? No, he's not. But a huge Ice Blast. It lands on 3. eosin, he's still alive. He's about to drop, but looks like he's gonna be fine. Actually, it appears that First Departure is just forced to run away. They get a kill on Bambo, but they just feed 2 kills straight to Corey, and that's gonna be his Lincolns in just a little bit here. Lubby actually on his own here. He may die. I am reasonably certain that he is just going to die here. He is stuck around too long. That stun, yeah, not gonna be enough. The Yule Scepter, it is there. Blitz is just gonna kill him. I'm not sure what Lubby was thinking, being this far out on your own as Lion. Lion is one of the easiest to kill supports if you catch him out on his own. And there's no way his combo would have come close to killing Blitz. Blitz is sitting on 1100 HP. Phase drums. That'll do that. Ags, it's on the way for KS. It'll help, but his team requires the execution necessary to pull that off, to make it really useful. We've yet to see a song from Chains. They should really... I think in that situation, it would have been a perfect time to use Song. To get that online. Does almost have the... You should really be carrying the Relic, but... is pretty close to that Radiance. Maybe coming too late, though. We're looking at 18 minutes now. A smoke up by Zephyr. They could walk straight into Chains. It looks like they're assessing the viability of this gank. Oh, Chains is so close to his Radiance. If he gets chased out now... be devastating. Or rather, more than chased out. If he dies now, then that would be really bad. With a headdress on Dafa, looks like a mech. Not a huge fan of mech on Timbersaw. In general, I just... You know, he struggles with mana a little bit as is. If you want, since you want to be constantly spamming your abilities, all three of them.
Is under attack.
Not to mention, he tends to be pretty far away from the team. He's zipping all over the place.
Structures are fortified.
Exorcism gets popped on mid.
Dire's top tower
Eosin actually
is under attack.
standing in the chakram. I'm not sure how necessary that really is, but Radiance is up for chains. Still fairly easy to kill, has nothing but the drums to go along with that, but 19 minutes, having drums and bottle, I think that's pretty good. He's farming well. But it's not enough to bring his team out of the, say, relative shithole. Oh my god. Yeah. His team's going to need a whole lot more than a Radiance to pull themselves out of where they are right now. Oh. Nice blink in and Doom onto KS. This is going to allow Zephyr the freedom to just go on this tower. Though it looks like a lot of back and forth harassment going on here. It's a questionable choice here by First Departure to throw in the... Oh, there's the split. Purge, he's actually very low. Corey, he's already used his waveform. The Lincoln Sphere gets popped. There's the stun from Brewmaster. Blitz throws out the silence, but the chakram as well as the long-range finger of death from Lubby. Well played by First Departure, coming in at exactly the right time. The Fortify buying just enough time to keep Zephyr out of position. I think they positioned themselves very poorly in that fight. Purge, he was way too close. Ends up getting blown up by KS. And I also think they need to be very specifically aware of when that Doom is going to expire on Brewmaster. I think that's ultimately why they fortified it. They were waiting for the Doom to expire, and as soon as it did, he jumped in with a Thunderclap and really just decimated Zephyr quite nicely. That's going to complete his Ags, and that's also the mech. So they get some important items. Regardless of whether it's a questionable item on Timbersaw, it's an important one to have. And a Blink Dagger on Lion. This is a lot of good pickups for First Departure, and it's going to allow them to actually stay in this game, since I think things were definitely getting out of control. Interesting choice by eosin not to go for the blink in this game. I thought for sure that he would do that, especially with the blink on Bambo. Would love to have that follow-up. Instead going for a blade mail, now appears to be building just the treads. Just honestly a bit of an odd choice. Not sure why you wouldn't want to get on the enemy as easily as blink allows. The blink on Lubby is really fantastic though, especially if they can get him to level 11. Drop the cooldown on that Finger of Death, he really becomes useful. And I'm not a huge fan of this decision. You almost never see this on Pro Lions. It does help with the mana problems that Lion has, and is part of the reason he can survive without arcanes, but level 3 mana drain provides no utility in team fights. It is a lot of mana to steal. If you're trying to take down a Morphling, I mean, okay, what are we looking at? 60 mana per second times 5, that's 300 mana. That's about half of Morphling's mana pool. That may or may not be enough. It's really tough to say. Exorcism gets popped to take down Roach, so Zephyr will take the first Roach of the game. Corey will carry the Aegis. He's actually not long from his shotgun. Ghost Scepter, 3,000 gold. There's 300 more, and he's got that. Ah, fuck, what is it called? Eagle Song. Wow, I was about to call it Wing's Edge, which I believe that's what it was a Han. Silly me. So, Roche going the way of Zephyr. First Departure, not able to find any trades for it. Yeah, they are grouped up at top, but I think that's a fight that Zephyr would love to take. I'm kind of surprised by the passiveness from Zephyr right now. They're not really pressing their advantage. They might not realize how much of an advantage they have. Now there's a Doom on to change. This is actually a fantastic target. First Departure forced to fully TP back. this might be worth it just on its own. Doom. Oh. Chaos, he gets silenced up and just absolutely blown away with the shotgun. And there's the stun onto Trio Protector. He will drop. It's a double kill for Morphling. And more than that, it's a huge strategic advantage, offered up to Zephyr. First Departure might have been able to manage a decent trade there if they hadn't been forced to TV back, but Chain's getting caught out. There's no reason for him to have been on his own in the jungle, especially when they know that Zephyr's nowhere nearby. Poor positioning by him as a farming carry to be caught like that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Exorcism now popped by Blitz. This is a dead bottom tier 2. There's only one tier 2 remaining on the map, which doesn't look like they're going to rotate to. I think they're happy just to push out their lanes. They recognize that there's some farm available on their side of the map. They can leave the rest of their team to farm up the jungle and call it a day. They should be able to get to the top tier 2 or make their next push before the Aegis expires, and I think they should do that. There's no reason not to. Especially when you have it on a hero like Morphling, who is so survivable, you can really turn things around. Morphling is able to put so much mana to use. Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll be able to do anything with this. It's actually a pretty nice replica to have. Does this morph replicate armor? Okay, yeah, so it does go based on the original illusion timer. I was about to ask if it was the replicate. Oh no, they're the same timer, so it does go by the replicate timer.
Top tower is under attack.
So what I was trying to figure out was whether or not when Morphling replicates an illusion of Naga, whether it starts based on the illusion timer of Mirror Image, or if it just goes on the replicate. And it just goes on the replicate, so you get the full 60 seconds. Or I guess Corey is not, he just hit 16, so 45, whatever it is. Items. What do we got? Tread's finished on eosin. I can only assume that a Blink Dagger's next. Can only assume. Maybe they decide they don't need it. We will see. Ags. Interesting. I've never seen an Ags in professional play on Doom for what I would declare to be good reason. It realistically does nothing but increase the duration, and that's not really the weakness of Doom. Doom is already pretty long. I mean, and you're only adding 1 second onto it. That said, we've seen a couple instances where having a longer duration Doom might have actually been really handy. So I don't know. It's not the worst idea. Going complete utility? Sure, why not? I think Scepter would be a lot better on Doom if it reduced the cooldown. Exorcism gets popped. The last tier 2 is really in danger here. And it doesn't seem like First Departure is going to be able to challenge this. They popped the Fortify, actually. It's a bad decision. If you can't defend it, don't fortify it. That is the rule. And it just doesn't seem like they were able to make anything happen out of that Fortify. Zephyr's pretty happy with this exchange. They pull out the Fortify, they take all the towers off the map with the Aegis in hand, they do some farming on the enemy side of the map. Yeah, it's a almost 20,000 gold lead. So I was going to say earlier that we see this gold lead, it's very obvious to us, and they can see the items on First Departure. At least some of them. They've been staying pretty far back, so it's a little bit hard to tell. But they don't necessarily know exactly how much of a lead they have. They know that they're winning, they just don't know by how much. Pipe finished, by the way, on Blitz. And so while it may be very obvious to us, here with the graph... Oh god, that is just disgusting. It may not be as clear to them. And, they may not want to be taking risks. It's the sort of thing that they may not have played against some of these teams before. I don't know how much Zephyr has been playing. I know that they've got to be somewhat recently created, because I know at least 6 months ago Purge and Blitz were stateside, so nope, it's not a blink. It's a mithril hammer. Must be a desolator. Could also be a BKB. Whatever. This is wow. This is a really farmed Death Prophet. Should change it to net worth. Alright, Zephyr. End the game. Do it. So yeah, they may be a little nervous just because it's first game of TI4 qualifiers. They don't necessarily know what they're up against. Researching amateur teams is almost impossible. So that said, the name First Departure has been around a long time, so I don't really know how amateur these teams are. Frankly, I would say that they're better than half the teams in the North America qualifier, just based on the quality of play seen so far and the draft. But that's not saying a whole lot. Exorcism makes it very easy to siege from the low grounds. Don't have to be up on the hill.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Top tier 3 drops. Will they decide to keep this push going? I think they should. It looks like this is such passiveness from First Departure. They've let their tier 3 go for almost no reason. No fight left. There's the split. There's a nice overgrowth. The Doom straight onto Timbersaw. He's not going to have an impact in this game. eosin drops, but there's the 75% slowed, making it so hard for the Brewmaster to get anything done. Stream Protector gets taken out. Still no deaths on Zephyr so far. And it looks like they're just going to be able to safely take this Rax. They'll drop the melee. They'll walk out unscathed. First Departure did what they could, but no song. This is, I gotta say, blowing my mind. We have still not seen a song from Naga in this game. There is no reasonable explanation for that. Not a single one.
Dire's bottom tower is under
if your base is being sieged, at the bare minimum, you can just song them and at least buy 7 seconds for your cooldowns, or to get on top of someone with the ensnare and the illusions. We saw no spamming of the mirror image for Riptide and Radiance. This is very passive Naga play. It's like, I think this draft is great, and they've demonstrated that they know how to execute with the heroes that they have, the few times we've seen it. But they're just letting Zephyr walk all over them. They're not giving up because they know they can come back. That is a possibility. Although I think the stats for coming back from a 20,000 gold leads are probably non-existent, because I doubt anyone's ever done it. It would require the most EG of EG throws. I guess that's not really a thing anymore. EG doesn't throw anymore. It's sad. You could say the same thing about Liquid, but it's just not. It doesn't have the same feel to it. Something special about calling it an EG throw. Really meant that it was like that. Damn, that's a bad throw. Like, wow, they must have fucked up bad, or they must have been winning like nobody's goddamn business to throw that hard. That's what an EG throw used to mean. A liquid throw is just dicking around, you know. Perseverance! What the fuck is this gonna be? Maybe going for a late Battle Fury. Maybe going for a refresher. Going for the old Valium build. Could be a Bloodstone. Who the fuck knows? I certainly don't. Where are these illusions? want to know what he's doing with the illusions. Zephyr starts to work on Roche. It's going to be cheese. I don't think they are at all worried about losing this top tier 2. They're just going to get their free Roche. Smoke up here by first departure. Are they going to... It looks like they're just going to get themselves caught. Pipe gets popped by Blitz. There's the Yules. And the silence is going to stop KS from getting anything done. Oh, absolute brutality. Instant buyback from him. Perhaps a bit premature. There's... Wow. That Ags is... That is so much damage. I mean, you're looking at 80 damage per second for 16 seconds. And God knows how long Bambo was just sitting on top of him. This is almost a pub stomp, I have to say. It's a bit unfortunate. Also, that axe is badass. Damn.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's get some action. Oh my god. Oh, wait. There's the jump in. There's a nice overgrowth. Bambo actually takes the fall. He's out of the fight for the time being. Eosin still got his resurrection, so he's going to be okay, but KS does drop. He's just bought back, so that's not really too meaningful. Corey jumps in with the shotgun. Can't quite finish off the timber with the right clicks, but it just doesn't matter. Fortify will delay them a little bit longer. Still have not seen a song this game. Why even put the skill points in it, you know? What? If you're not going to use it, why not just build stats? I mean, seriously. Corey finds an easy kill on Lion. Steps too far forward. And that's the mid melee racks. I would definitely say that first departure are down for the count. They have been outplayed. I would say they've been outdrafted, out-itemized. Pretty brutal, I dare say.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Zephyr looked pretty good though.
I
mean, it's a little hard to assess exactly how good they are as a team, given the opponent they have.
Dire victory.
Wow. Assuming Ben is Merlini, he's the one is he the one casting this? Observer. Quite possibly. Wow. I don't know if there's a lot to say about that game. I do wonder what that last item is going to be on Naga. Bloodstone. Maybe we'll never know. Alright, well thank you for watching. I'm Cranberry Thunderfunk and I'm done for tonight. But this is an entertaining game. First one of Southeast Asia. Hopefully this weekend I'm going to get to do some of that. Tomorrow night I won't be able to, unfortunately, but Saturday and Sunday, boom, that'll be the timing. Alright, until next time.